Soulburning Volcano releases, I don't know, man, like the 11th or something. You see, the Dune video kind of fried my brain a little, so we're going to take it easy with this one, I think. All three of these decks are exactly my type of Scrimblow, so I'm just going to bat chest and soy face at them for no less than 8 minutes, and you're going to watch this on MBT's channel instead of mine, like you always do, Gary. Here's the name of the show. Battlin Boxer. Okay, I wrote vocal freestyle in the script here. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. Battlin Boxer Promoter can summon itself if your opponent controls a monster, tribute itself to summon 2 Battlin Boxers from deck, and banish itself from the graveyard to move all your boxers up or down 1 level. Uppercutter searches a boxer or a counter trap on summon, and when it's sent to the graveyard by card effect, either reborns a boxer or sets a counter from graveyard. Chief Second gives you an extra normal summon while it's on the field, and when an opponent's monster attacks, can summon itself from hand, negate the attack, and banish a monster until the end phase. King Dempsey is a generic rank 4 that searches or mills any level 4 or lower fire warrior or Battlin Box and back row on summon, and can quick effect detach a material from a monster you control to make your boxers untargetable and indestructible for the turn. Number C79 Battlin Boxer General Kaiser is a rank 5 that requires 3 level 5s, can negate a special summon by detaching 2 materials, and if it has number 79's material, when your boxer battles an opponent's monster, it can mill a boxer to attach that opponent's monster to itself. And Battlin Boxer Cross Counter pops a Battlin Boxer or number Xyz monster you control to negate a monster effect, then summon a Boxer Xyz from extra deck and attach Cross Counter to it. These cards modernize Boxer's game plan and give them far better tools to accomplish it with. Lead Yoke Pass no longer cuts it in the modern era, so instead we get a neat summon negate and a strong monster negate, the 2 halves of Solemn Strike together on one end board. But also if you want to diversify your options, Uppercutter can search Flamvel Counter, a spell trap negate that can be activated by banishing the 200 defense Uppercutter. Also strengthened is the consistency, with Promoter being a 1-card combo since it can get 2 monsters on the field, one of which can search an extender like Spar or Switch Hitter, and then make them all level 5 to get to General Kaiser. Chief Second's Extra Normal lets you make use of the deck's multiple good normal summons without getting choked on too many of them, and while a Battle Fader effect is perhaps a bit passé, it is a pretty good Fader effect, removing a second potential attacker from the field and setting up good follow-up by having your Extra Normal ready to go by turn 3. Okay, can I start complaining now? So first of all, not having a searchable rank up magic or something of the sort makes it completely impractical to summon General Kaiser using Nova Kaiser, which is mostly just a huge fail for flavor, but also makes it particularly difficult to be able to use this summon negate more than exactly once. Speaking of which, a summon negate is a historically underwhelming type of interaction that almost always gets passed up the moment better options become available to a deck. Negating an important extra deck summon like a Sold can be good against more linear combo decks with obvious choke points to attack for massive damage, but like, what are you stopping against, like, Kashtira? Don't even get me started on how some decks just do not use any built-in summons. If your opponent starts their turn by activating Branded Fusion, you're forced to stare at your deck's premier end boss, whose effect will not come up once in the entire match. You of course still have the counter trap, but I've been dying to talk about the straight up non-cooperative design of Cross Counter. Because of the wording on the card, your monster has to be destroyed in order for the effect to be negated, meaning that if you use Dempsey to protect your board, or even Lead Yoke, the famous mainstay of Battlin Boxer, to protect itself, the card stops resolving in its tracks, and it'll be as though you've activated nothing at all. So whatever, you can't use the protection Konami gave you to protect your cards, it's whatever. At least you replace the monster, but aha! You fool! You get to summon a Battlin Boxer with 1 material! Would you prefer General Kaiser with no negate? Lead Yoke with only 1 protection? Do you want to play fucking Cestus? The real answer is of course to summon Dempsey and get a search, then be able to use its effect for protection afterwards, but Dempsey happens to be the one you prefer to destroy since your turn 1 consists of summoning Dempsey, then searching the extender needed to get to Kaiser. And unless you hold your monster negate until after finding the perfect monster to use Kaiser against, you'll want the flexibility of being able to cross counter first. So you'll have to pop Dempsey, which means you can't summon another Dempsey, which means you have to summon fucking Lead Yoke. It's Lead Yoke past 10 years later, goddamn! Reminder that we're taking it easy this video. I like Battlin Boxer, and these are good cards. I hope they can get a more versatile payoff to complement their huge consistency boost. End of segment. Oh wait, we've got to talk about how they made another Broad Bowl. So far we've seen Dempsey pop up in places like Vanquish Soul as a way to search Raisin, and of course Infernoble is kind of a better use of 2 level 4s than Ortoragus. Salamangreat Weasel is a level 3 tuner that summons itself if you have 2 or more Salads in grave, and if you summon a... That's too many words. We're just going to call this group of card types Jimmy. If you summon a Salamangreat Jimmy, puts himself from graveyard on the bottom of the deck, summons another Salad from graveyard to your opponent's field, and draws a card. Tiger can pitch a Salad to summon himself from hand, can go up or down a level, and can be treated as a non-tuner for the summon of a fire monster. Salamangreat of Fire searches a level 4 or lower Salad on summon, but locks you to fire monsters, and has a Chi-Chi's graveyard effect that after 3 years we still aren't clear on the purpose of. Let me just cross bait Vrain's viewers into explaining the interaction with the Fire Phoenix off my engagement engagement to-do list, and we're off to the jimmies. Burst Griffin can reborn a fire monster and cut itself down by that monster's level, and if it's synchro summoned using Burst Griffin, can summon any monster from graveyard during the next standby phase. Raging Phoenix searches any salad card when it's reincarnated, and when a fire monster is destroyed, reborns itself and gains its attack. Charge can either shuffle back 2 fires from graveyard and reborn a third, or if you control a fire Jimmy with different attack than its original attack, pops a card on the field. And Revive is back to the front for fires that can banish itself from graveyard to shuffle back a salad from graveyard and give its attack to a salad with the same name on your field. These cards make it easier to roar pass in 2023 every day until I die. When I found out from the Salad Discord that Spinny plus Gazelle was Roar plus Rage, I entered a sort of coma state between life and death, in which all I could think about was the cyclical nature of death and rebirth, violence and peace, all of time, a flat circle supported on the back of a space turtle named Toby. Hi, Toby. Reminder that we're taking it easy this video. So minor existential crisis aside, the support does do a lot for the deck, like give you actual 1-card combos that don't suck enormous donkey dick. Fire is an incredible card that for some reason we did 2 weeks of discourse about because the only salad play the general public knows about is update access. Yes, locking you to fires keeps you off certain lines, but the amount of lines it opens is well worth it. Being able to search Gazelle and then immediately link off to trigger Gazelle is an extremely strong interaction that gets your advantage rolling early. Its existence also gives you a great target for a Mirage Stalio that can search an extender like Weasel. Weasel, by the way, is a very good extender that can be used in tandem with Gazelle sending Spinny to make Stalio, or I guess Horse Prince if you're fucking stupid. Its effect in the graveyard is unusual, but a free draw is useful, and giving your opponent a Salamangreat can either give you value out of Stalio's bounce turn 1, turning it into Recursion similar to Sunlight Wolf, or give you the ability to lock your opponent under Goes into Rivalry. Tiger is a decent extender that can help get things like Jaguar or Falco out of your hand, and its level modulation means if you don't get locked to fire, it can combo with a 4 to make Baguska or Baron. Having tuners does mean you can try out some overlooked fire synchros like Lavalval X-Lord and Salamander, and Raging Phoenix is a great addition to the deck, giving you a direct means of searching your Omni-Negate or Quadruple Pop. Demanding the singular Sanctuary summon makes it more difficult to use in tandem with Sunlight Wolf, but it does kind of streamline the goal of Sunlight Wolf anyway. The rest of the cards don't have that much to say about them, Charge being a decent reborn and a mid-pop, while Revive is back to the front, a type of card design Konami seems to think is some sort of stroke of genius. Burst Griffin is neat, being able to instantly set up its own reincarnation, but there's not much to do with its delayed summon aside from somehow set up a floodgate. The truth is, this wave of support doesn't really change all that much of what Salamangreat wants to do, it just gets you there a little more efficiently. From Roar Pass you came, and to Roar Pass you shall return. Make the script now, alright. Volcanic dipshit sucks dick for money. He also summons a monster to the opponent's field so that they can't summon Unicorn. Anyway. Volcanic Trooper searches a volcanic card on summon and can discard a card to give your opponent a bomb.
They're bombs.
Volcanic, if I make this joke, Saws will kill me, has 2 separate effects that both activate when it's sent to the graveyard but don't share once per turn, either banishing itself from graveyard to mill a volcanic monster, or banish a Blaze Accelerator from graveyard to place a Blaze Accelerator from deck. Volcanic Emperor Stove can summon itself from hand or graveyard by banishing 3 Pyros or 1 Accelerator, burns your opponent for 500 for each banished Pyro on summon, then sets a Volcanic Trap from deck, and dings your opponent for 5 every time they special summon. Volcanic Blaze Accelerator activates by sending a regular Accelerator from hand, deck, or field, can special summon a Volcanic from hand, and can mill a level 1 Pyro to pop a monster your opponent controls. Fire Ejection mills any Pyro, and if it's a Volcanic, either burns times its level or gives your opponent a bomb.
Bombs?
Volcanic Emission either summons or searches a Volcanic from deck, or burns equal to the attack of a Pyro on the field, but only half if it's your Pyro. An Inferno can banish a Pyro to negate a monster effect and ding your opponent for 5, and during your opponent's end phase can recycle 2 Volcanics. Start spreading the news. It's printing today. I wanna be a part of it. Volcanic support. Okay, that's all the song you're getting, although I did write the rest of it, but reminder, we're taking it easy this video. These cards help Volcanic function much better as a control strategy that can succeed by operating on a completely different axis from the rest of the game, focusing mostly on burning over time and having threats that are difficult to fully remove. Emperor taxing your opponent's summons represents an active threat on board that demands demands an answer, but his ability to come back every turn and burn for a whole chunk when he does punishes your opponent for not being able to keep him down. Rim,
I don't need it,
can be used to get Emperor into rotation and to set up reload to get a draw as early as turn 1. Triggering it is as easy as using Fire Ejection or Accelerator's effect to pop one of the bombs you've given your opponent. Speaking of my La Bomb, giving your opponent a token does more than just give you something to pop and add a couple more 500 pings to your burn calculations, but can of course also stop your opponent from using things like Fenrir, Imperma, or Evenly, and of course can be used to lock your opponent under Goes in a Rivalry. Trooper is a great new normal summon which doesn't have to compete with Volcanic's existing good normal summon Rocket, since Accelerator lets you summon both in a single turn. And while Accelerator does require you to play the OG Accelerator as a 1-of brick, sending it does give you something to banish to summon Emperor early. And Inferno is a good interruption, giving you a negate to go along with Scattershot Oppenheimer styling your opponent's monsters, as well as increasing the damage potential of Emperor and recurring some of your resources that otherwise would get stuck in the banish pile, albeit slowly because 2 recycles isn't even enough to reset Scattershot all at once. The most common hypothesis on how to use these cards is with Runic, as the burn win con, slow advantage based pace, and relatively fewer archetypal disruptions makes them a great fit for the engine that can't do damage, draws 3 cards every turn, and can just randomly add pops and negates to your arsenal of interruptions. The reprints suck again. Like literally there's nothing whatsoever worth noting. They just reprinted every card from the 3 archetypes they could think of, and Volcanic Eruption to push through an errata to take it out of the Volcanic archetype now that Volcanic traps are searchable. It is literally the last card in the set going by set code. They actually taped this on as an afterthought. This set will sell 0 packs, and all of the cards in it will be expensive for no reason for the next 4 years. A plague on all your houses. Thank you to my patrons. I'm going to bed.